Friendship is one of the greatest miracles of human life, for it begins not in obligation, but in recognition. It starts in the quiet moment when one person looks at another and says, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." It is the meeting of souls that see the same truth, love the same beauty, and walk toward the same horizon. Unlike the relationships of family, which are woven by blood, or those of romance, which are bound by passion, friendship is chosen. It is voluntary, deliberate, and rooted in freedom. It is a sacred act of the heart, where one chooses to stand beside another not because of need, but because of love, respect, and shared understanding. True friendship does not seek utility, it seeks unity. It is not a marketplace of benefits, but a fellowship of souls. In a world where people often seek company to fill their loneliness, friendship stands as something higher. It is not about needing someone to talk to. It is about finding someone who understands without words. The truest companions are those who do not complete us, but call us to completeness. They do not chain us to comfort, they challenge us toward growth. Their presence is not noise in our silence, but peace in our storms. There is something divine in friendship, for it reflects the very nature of grace. No law compels it, no blood demands it, yet it arises with the strength of a sacred vow. It is an image of heavenly joy, free, generous, and pure. In true friendship, love is given not because it is owed, but because it is beautiful to give. It is in this that friendship becomes a reflection of divine love, unchained, undeserved, and yet unending. It teaches us that love, when given freely, becomes a source of spiritual strength rather than dependence. It is the companionship of free souls who have chosen to walk side by side. But friendship, like all noble things, must be built upon truth. The foundation of real companionship cannot rest on flattery, convenience, or shared amusement. Those things fade as quickly as they arise. True friends are mirrors of the soul. They reflect both light and shadow. They speak truth even when it stings, not to wound but to heal. A friend's honesty is not betrayal. It is an act of courage that calls the other toward virtue. Such a bond refines both hearts, for iron sharpens iron. In this way, friendship becomes the school of character, where both learn humility, patience, and grace. And yet, friendship is not only a quiet fellowship. It is a shared mission. The best friendships are born not from constant companionship, but from shared purpose. Two travelers on the same road, striving toward the same light, often find each other by destiny. Their eyes are fixed on something beyond themselves, truth, goodness, or beauty. And in walking toward that vision, they discover that their hearts move in rhythm. The power of friendship lies not in facing each other, but in standing side by side, facing the same horizon. For in striving together, their spirits are bound by purpose, not merely by presence. The test of this sacred bond comes in adversity. It is easy to walk together in sunshine, but it is in the storm that true friendship reveals its strength. When the world turns cold, a friend's loyalty becomes a fire that warms the heart. They do not offer escape from pain, but courage to endure it. They are not shields that block suffering, but hands that hold steady through it. A true friend will not always have the right words, but their silent presence speaks louder than comfort. They become the living reminder that we are not alone, even when the path grows dark. It is in those moments that friendship reveals its divine strength, faithful, enduring, and unwavering. Such friendship, once forged, does not end with time. Distance cannot weaken it, nor death destroy it. When two souls have walked together in truth, their bond becomes eternal. Even when one departs, the memory of that love continues to guide the other. The lessons, laughter, and courage shared become part of one's very being. True friends become a part of our spiritual story, written not in words but in the heart. The echo of their kindness remains, whispering strength in our weakness and light in our darkness. And in that way, friendship becomes something immortal, a reflection of love that transcends the limits of human life. In a world that often mistakes connection for companionship, we must remember that true friendship is rare, but it is worth everything. It is a gift not bought but discovered, not forced but found. It is the meeting of souls who help each other become what they were always meant to be. Such friendships are the treasures of eternity, the quiet proof that even in a vast world, the human heart was never meant to walk alone. True friendship is not a relationship of circumstance or convenience. It is a sacred alignment of souls that recognize the same truth within one another. It begins quietly, often unexpectedly, in a moment of shared understanding, a moment when two people realize that their hearts are tuned to the same frequency. This recognition transcends outward similarities like background, age, or status. It touches something deeper, the meeting of spirits drawn by the same love for truth, beauty, or virtue. The foundation of such friendship is not laid through social formality, but through authenticity. When two individuals drop their masks and reveal their genuine selves, and still find acceptance and admiration, the roots of friendship begin to grow. It is in this transparency that friendship gains its sacred quality, for it allows one soul to see and affirm another without pretense or expectation. The sacred foundation of true friendship is built upon honesty, integrity, and shared meaning. It cannot exist where deceit or selfishness reside. When one seeks only advantage or comfort, the connection becomes hollow, lacking the depth that real companionship demands. Friendship thrives in an atmosphere of sincerity. It grows best in soil watered by truth and trust. To be a true friend is to offer one's real self, not the polished mask that pleases the world, but the imperfect heart that desires to grow in goodness. It is not the perfection of the other that attracts, but their pursuit of the same ideals, their reverence for the same values. Friendship in its purest form is an act of recognition. You believe as I do, you seek what I seek. This shared moral and emotional language forms the invisible bond that unites two hearts. The sacredness of friendship lies also in its rarity. Many people will walk beside us for a season, sharing laughter or convenience, but few will walk beside us in the search for truth. True friendship is not a multitude of connections, but a deep communion of few. It demands time, attention, and the courage to understand. It does not rush toward affection. It matures through understanding. When two people begin to see the world through a similar moral lens, when they are stirred by the same beauty, grieved by the same injustice, and moved by the same hope, they become more than companions. They become allies of the spirit. In this alliance, there is no domination, no manipulation, no competition. The soul of friendship is equality. Two people standing side by side, not one above the other, bound by mutual respect and trust. Friendship is not born from need, but from freedom. It cannot be forced by duty or demand. It blossoms naturally where honesty and empathy meet. Unlike relationships of obligation, such as those of family or profession, friendship requires voluntary commitment. It is a love that one chooses, not one that circumstance imposes. This choice gives friendship its sacred dignity. The fact that one chooses to share life's thoughts, joys, and sorrows with another, without compulsion, elevates friendship to something divine. It is an act of the free will that mirrors the generosity of divine love, self-giving, sincere, and joyful. In this sense, friendship becomes a form of worship, an offering of the heart to another human soul, not for what they can provide, but for what they are in truth. At the heart of friendship lies the courage to be known. Many live behind walls of self-protection, fearing vulnerability. Yet friendship calls for openness, a willingness to share one's fears, doubts, and hopes. It is a safe place where one can lay down the burden of pretending and simply be. When a friend listens without judgment, when they see the flaws yet choose to stay, the human soul experiences something close to grace. This is why friendship has a healing power that no medicine can replicate. It touches the loneliness that dwells deep within every human being, assuring them that they are not alone in their journey. This healing is not through sympathy alone, but through understanding, through the sacred echo that says, "I know you, I have felt this too." True friendship demands mutual growth. It is not a stagnant comfort zone, but a living relationship that pushes both toward higher virtue. It encourages integrity when temptation whispers compromise. It inspires patience when anger rises. It reminds one of goodness when the world grows cynical. In this way, friendship becomes both a refuge and a teacher. It shelters the heart from isolation, but also calls it to greatness. A true friend does not merely console, they awaken. They remind you of who you are when you forget. They reflect your better self when the world has made you doubt it. Such companionship is sacred because it refines the soul, leading both toward moral and spiritual maturity. Friendship also carries within it an unspoken reverence. One does not possess a friend as one might claim property. One honors them. The essence of true companionship is respect, a recognition that the other is a soul with their own journey, their own freedom, their own purpose. The sacred foundation of friendship is built on this respect, for it guards against jealousy, control, and resentment. In friendship, both individuals stand as equals under the light of truth, each helping the other to see more clearly. To be a true friend is to rejoice in another's growth, even when it surpasses one's own. It is to love without envy and to care without claiming. Such purity of heart transforms friendship into something eternal. And though friendship is a meeting of hearts, it is also a bridge between heaven and earth. It reveals what is most divine in humanity, the capacity to love beyond self-interest, to understand beyond words, and to remain loyal beyond convenience. The sacred foundation of true friendship reminds us that connection is not a luxury, but a calling. It teaches that the soul, in its deepest longing, seeks not crowds but kindred spirits. Those who find even one true friend have tasted a reflection of the eternal, a companionship that whispers of what love was always meant to be, honest, pure, and infinite. Friendship is among the most remarkable gifts given to humanity, for it is the only bond that is entirely chosen. While family ties are formed by birth and romantic attachments often stir from emotion, friendship arises from the freedom of two souls who see something sacred in one another. It is a divine gift because it reflects the voluntary nature of love, the choice to give without demand, to care without expectation, and to walk beside another not out of duty, but delight. This voluntary affection makes friendship one of the purest expressions of human love, for it mirrors the selflessness of divine grace. In friendship, one does not seek gain but joy. One does not measure worth but shares life. It is a love not born of necessity but of recognition, as if two hearts discovered they were created in harmony. Such freedom and choice make friendship sacred, a reflection of divine generosity where affection flows, because it is beautiful to give, not because it is required. Unlike the relationships bound by obligation, friendship is the fruit of voluntary unity. No law commands it, no blood demands it, yet it possesses an authority stronger than any contract. A true friend is not assigned, they are discovered. This discovery carries with it a quiet reverence, for one recognizes that not all meetings in life are by accident. Some are providential. The divine often weaves friendship into our journey as an instrument of grace, sending people whose presence renews faith, restores courage, and rekindles hope. A true friend becomes an earthly reflection of divine care, a living reminder that love exists in its most genuine form when it is freely offered. In this way, friendship becomes a visible manifestation of spiritual truth, that love is not earned but bestowed, not manufactured but awakened. The purity of friendship lies in its selflessness. It does not demand constant attention or affection, for its strength comes from mutual understanding, not possession. It gives space for individuality and growth, never confining or controlling, because real love respects the freedom of another's soul. A friend who loves purely does not seek to alter the other into their image, but to help them grow into their best self. Such friendship reflects the divine quality of unconditional love, steadfast, forgiving, and generous. There is beauty in the knowledge that one can be truly known and still loved, not for what one provides, but for what one is. The divine spark in friendship glows brightest when both souls are free, yet drawn together by shared purpose and truth. Friendship, being a divine gift, also carries divine responsibility. It is not a casual bond to be taken lightly, for it bears the weight of trust and the duty of sincerity. When one chooses another as a friend, one silently promises loyalty, truth, and goodwill. To betray that bond through deceit or selfishness is not merely a personal failing. It is a desecration of something sacred, for friendship in its truest form mirrors the relationship between the human soul and the divine, faithful, patient, and enduring. A true friend stands not as a spectator, but as a companion in both joy and suffering. When one rejoices, the friend celebrates without envy. When one mourns, the friend stands beside them in quiet strength. Through every season of life, friendship endures because it is rooted in something eternal. The desire for the other's good. One of the most profound aspects of friendship as a divine gift is its power to transform. When two people unite in sincerity and virtue, their connection becomes a spiritual catalyst. They inspire each other to higher standards, call each other out of mediocrity, and remind each other of the goodness that still exists in the world. In times of doubt, a friend's faith can rekindle one's own. In times of despair, a friend's courage can restore strength. Friendship is thus not merely an emotional comfort, but a moral influence, a sacred partnership in the pursuit of truth and goodness. It is divine because it uplifts both souls toward their higher purpose. Through genuine companionship, one learns that love is not about taking but about giving, not about comfort but about character. The divine nature of friendship also lies in its ability to reveal the image of the Creator in human relationships. Just as divine love asks nothing and gives everything, so too does true friendship offer itself freely. It teaches the soul to love without bargaining, to forgive without condition, and to endure without resentment. It reveals that love, when freed from self-interest, becomes a source of joy and light. The affection that flows from such friendship is quiet yet unbreakable, humble yet powerful. It gives strength without demanding recognition, offers wisdom without seeking control, and remains faithful even when distance or time intervene. This spiritual depth separates friendship from all lesser forms of connection, making it an echo of something eternal and divine. In a world that often values relationships for what they provide, the divine gift of friendship stands as a rebuke to selfishness. It reminds us that the highest form of love is found not in possession, but in presence. A true friend is not one who fills an emptiness, but one who enriches the fullness of life. Their companionship is not a remedy for loneliness, but a celebration of shared existence. When friendship is understood as a divine gift, it ceases to be about emotional dependence and becomes about mutual elevation, each helping the other grow closer to truth, to goodness, to God. The moments shared in laughter, the comfort in silence, and the understanding in struggle. All these are threads of divine grace woven into the fabric of human life. The gift of friendship also teaches humility. To be loved for who one truly is, without adornment or performance, is a humbling experience. It reminds us that love cannot be earned, only received. It invites gratitude, not pride, for to have even one true friend is to know that grace has touched one's life. Such companionship nurtures the soul and anchors it in faith. It whispers to the heart that it is not alone, that goodness is not a dream, and that love, pure, voluntary, and steadfast, still dwells among us. Thus, friendship stands as a testament to the divine truth that love, when freely given, is the highest expression of human life and the clearest reflection of heaven on earth. The truest measure of friendship is revealed not in times of comfort, but in moments of adversity. While many companions are content to share laughter, leisure, and prosperity, true friends are distinguished by their steadfastness in the storms of life. It is easy to walk beside someone when the sun is shining, but it requires courage, loyalty, and a depth of heart to stand by another when darkness surrounds them. Adversity exposes the strength and authenticity of friendship, for in hardship, the superficial bonds of convenience are stripped away, leaving only the soul's genuine connections. A friend who endures the trials of life with us demonstrates that friendship is more than shared pleasure. It is a sacred covenant of support, empathy, and unwavering presence. When life challenges us, friends become pillars of strength. They do not eliminate difficulties or shield us from pain, for suffering is an essential part of growth and the human experience. Rather, they walk beside us through the pain, offering courage and solace that is neither intrusive nor false. Their presence alone becomes a source of fortitude, a reminder that we are not isolated in our struggles. True friendship in adversity teaches patience, humility, and resilience. It shows that love and loyalty are not measured by ease, but by endurance. Friends who remain steadfast in trying times illuminate the very nature of what it means to care deeply. They choose to stay when every convenience urges them to depart. Adversity also provides the context in which friends refine one another. Challenges demand honesty, counsel, and confrontation. A true friend will not simply comfort us with flattery or empty reassurance. They speak the truth even when it is difficult to hear. In moments of despair or failure, a friend may point out flaws, encourage responsibility, or guide us back to our better selves. This is not an act of judgment but of love. Friendship is transformative precisely because it does not seek to shield us from life's harsh realities, but to accompany us in facing them. In adversity, the friend becomes both a mirror and a guide, reflecting what we may not see in ourselves and inspiring us to rise above circumstances that threaten to diminish our character. The loyalty of friendship in hardship fosters a unique intimacy that cannot be replicated in times of ease. When two individuals share the trials of life, they develop a profound mutual understanding. The shared struggle creates a bond that is both unspoken and deeply felt. Friends who have faced storms together carry a private language of resilience and solidarity, a mutual knowledge that no one else can fully comprehend. This depth of connection is not born from mere companionship, but from the courage to face life's uncertainties together. In such friendships, the trials themselves become the crucible in which the relationship is purified and strengthened, producing a loyalty and love that is both rare and enduring. True friends provide not only emotional support, but also practical assistance in times of adversity. Their commitment manifests in acts of care, however small or large, that lighten the burden of suffering. They may offer guidance, encouragement, or simply a listening ear, but their presence reassures that no challenge is faced in isolation. Moreover, friends in adversity teach us the value of reciprocity, not in a transactional sense, but in the moral and emotional exchange of support and care. Each person's willingness to bear witness to the other's pain, To offer strength without expectation reinforces the sacred nature of the bond. The relationship deepens not because hardship creates obligation, but because it reveals the heart's capacity for selfless devotion.